Holy Night is like dark chocolate wrapped in a milk chocolate label. Sure, it looks good, but once you actually bite into it, you realize that it's not as delicious as you thought. Sometimes, depending on how little sugar there is, you may even begin to hate your life and look for a way to get that horrible taste out of your mouth. But sometimes, the taste just doesn't want to leave. The only way to get the taste out of your mouth would be to eat something else. But you might not be hungry and your stomach might feel like it'll burst if you have another bite. This is the perfect metaphor for how Holy Night treated me and why I hate it so much. Holy Night actually has a decent start. It does something right, and that is its backstory. I feel like they included a decent amount of things that the viewer can sympathize with. It's a basic fear we all have, which is the fear of being totally alone. The way that Lilith, this little girl, is forced to leave her parents is sure to pull a few heartstrings. One reason that this scene works is because of Lilith. She's not an annoying kid character. Well, if you don't watch the dub anyways. She actually feels like a real kid, which is something that a lot of works need to perfect. Also, later in the anime, we find out that the only reason that Lilith's parents are forced to part from her is because her mother is a vampire. This is a really great concept because everyone can relate to being judged by stereotypes, from anything to playing a certain video game to something as serious as race or religion. We've all been judged unfairly by at least one person in our lives. Before Lilith leaves her parents, she's given a cross that is supposed to protect her. The cross is never brought up again. Also, I find it very ironic that someone who's named after a biblical demon wears a cross. Lilith is sent to a safe house to stay in. While at the safe house, she starts mourning the loss of her parents, and the viewer can really feel for her in this scene. She's living in this chick's house. Make sure to remember this chick, because we'll be seeing more of her, whether we like it or not. Then we're treated with the time skip. And as we all know, time skips can be the difference between a good show and Mars of Destruction. The time skip in this anime isn't a killer for it. Well, what is the first sign of Holy Night's rapid descent into hell? You could say that Lilith's talking dog is the first sign that this anime is bad, but trust me, that's the least of this anime's problems. It's time to go to school, bitch! We cut off to generic protagonist model number 10-2-9494. He apparently woke up late for school, because I've never seen that before. His childhood friend, who's a big-titted girl because plot, is waiting for him. She's mad at him for being late. Main character San apologizes, and Lord accepts it because she's in love with his bland ass. Why does she like him? That the anime never explains. She just loves him because she has big tits. Like, come on guys, we all know tit size is what measures how much a girl loves you. That's the reason why nobody ends up with the loli. Main character San has a cat that he tells to watch the house. Cats don't give two shits about anything. Why the fuck would his cat care about someone breaking in? Psst, guys, the anime is trying to do subtle foreshadowing. Psst, just warning it out so it doesn't fly under your radar. Psst, sounds like I'm taking a piss. Psst, 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 psst. Main character San gets separated from Lord. Then the unexpected happens. Lilith crosses paths with model number 10-2-9494. The audience never expected them to cross paths. Holy Night is one of the most original and groundbreaking anime ever. And Lilith goes up and kisses him. No explanation whatsoever. She just does. I guess that people want to skip past stuff that's filler, like building a relationship. Let's get right to the 69, y'all! Speaking of 69, that's what Lilith wants to do with main character San. Apparently she wants to have babies with him. Why? Well, that reason is definitely logically sound. Once the baby is born, she'll kill main character San, then kill her baby, and after they're both dead, she'll bathe in their blood. It's okay, guys, she's a vampire, so it makes sense that she wants to do something involving blood. No. Just fucking no. I've seen tons of vampire-related media. There are multiple interpretations of vampire legend, but none of the ones I've seen have added anything so foolish that I had to question it. Well, except for Twilight, but that's the butt of all vampire jokes. Vampire stories usually keep somewhat true to Stoker's intentions. Vampires suck blood, are most powerful at night, etc. It's fine if you add something new to vampire legend as long as you explain why. If your addition has no reason behind it, it comes off as stupid. There's absolutely no reason given as to why Lilith wants to have sex with this generic fuck and then bathe in her babies and main character San's blood. The reason for Lilith wanting to have sex with the main character is to carry on a certain bloodline, which would be fine. I mean, sure, it's stupid, but it would make sense. But there's no reason I can attach to her wanting to bathe in her baby's blood. What the fuck will that do? The only reason this plot point exists is to ensure that they get to the sexy stuff as soon as possible. It's very obvious that this anime's target audience is guys that are just looking to get turned on. However, there's hentai for that. Hentai, where the whole point of the thing is to get turned on. Why would you waste your time with an anime that doesn't even have characters having sex? Only plot points, instead of something where the whole fucking point is about the characters, well, fucking. It makes no sense. As for the casual viewers like me, who didn't expect the anime to go like this, we're just left watching on in horror as we see the rapid descent of this anime from something okay to something horrendous. Then we see a purple-haired nurse seducing doctors because plot. You know how I said to remember that chick from earlier? Well, this is her. She comes back later and contributes to the plot immensely. And by immensely, I mean that she shouldn't have even been in the show at all. Anyways, let's get back to the story. Opie Lord sees Lilith kiss number 10-2-9494 and afterwards has an angry workout session to vent. Her tits are flying everywhere. I know this is a pretty stupid complaint for a show that's categorized as ecchi, but does she not wear a bra? The way her boobs are flying around makes it look like they're about to fly off. I really don't know what light the anime is trying to paint her in. Are we supposed to feel sorry for her? Are we supposed to hate her? I definitely didn't feel sorry for her, mainly because she was just there as filler. It's so obvious. When the anime doesn't want to get back to the main plot, it just switches to Opie Lord's side of the story. Another reason I hate her is because she's there because the anime calls for it. If an anime tries to do anything romantic, I use that term very loosely for Holy Night. Very. They've got to have a rival character. Like I said, this is just for filler. If there wasn't a rival character, the anime, or even some Western media, would be as short as Kim Jong-un's tolerance and height, and it would be really boring. You can use a rival in romance well, but most ecchi doesn't. Does Holy Night? Nope. Opie Lord has literally no reason to love our main character. He's got no personality whatsoever. It's like falling in love with the brick wall. You just don't. There's a group in this anime that's trying to kill Lilith because apparently the writers realized that the story has no substance. This group made the anime a lot more confusing. The anime never explains who this group is. I don't care if you only have an hour for your story. You need to explain. I'd much rather have an anime that ends on a cliffhanger and that has properly explained its characters and plot devices instead of watching something that makes no sense and leaves me hating my life. Speaking of hating my life, this next scene is one of the worst in Holy Night, if not the worst. Lilith is taking a shower. I actually wouldn't mind this scene if it was just Lilith taking a shower. It would give me a break from the horrible plot. Unfortunately, it isn't just Lilith taking a shower, because she has company. You know that nurse from earlier, who was that chick from earlier? That's Lilith's guest, and as we can tell from the other scene we saw her in, she's a horny motherfucker, so let's see what happens next. She grabs Lilith's tits and is like, "Whoa, your boobies are so big!" I would be much more accepting of this scene if Lilith was consenting to getting felt up. Granted, it still would have been stupid, but it would have been consensual. But she didn't! She was getting fucking molested. And since this chick is the one who looked after Lilith for years, we can only imagine the other things she might have done to her. Just fuck this show. Back to Opie Lord because we needed even more filler. At least we don't have to see any more of that fucking nurse. Opie Lord is walking home. Behind her is this weird guy that has supernatural powers or something. Opie Lord gets in her house and wonders if someone is following her. When she turns around, supernatural guy is there, and he says some pretty creepy stuff that would get him arrested if he said it out in public. Then he makes out with Opie Lord against her will. Yay! Because Holy Night didn't have enough sexual harassment already. Also, the guy is Lilith's dog in human form. That's fucking swell. You know the main character's cat? That's a human too. Because we haven't seen enough cats that turn into humans in anime. Yup, that's a pretty original idea, just like all the other ideas in Holy Night. Back at main character Son's house, he and Lilith are about to have sex. Fun! Then, oh no, Lilith gets captured by the evil organization. Great, now the main character has blue balls. Our blue-balled main character finds out that he's the descendant of a legendary swordsman or something via flashback, because that's the best way to inform the viewers. Then Kirito, main character Son, tries to save Lilith from her captors. Then we go to Lilith's part of the story. She's tied up to a pole and is totally naked. It's for the plot, I swear, baka. Then the evil villainy dude says a bunch of evil villainy stuff. After that, he touches Lilith's boobies. I seriously think this anime is the prequel to Aesthetic of a Rogue Hero. After Lilith gets molested again, main character Son bursts through the wall!
And his name is John C.
Oh, the power of true love. True love. True love. Then, after main character son destroys everything, and everyone's okay, the credits roll. Lilith might not have been able to bathe in her child's blood, but at least she got saved by main character son. I swear, this anime has scarred me. I think I'll like every single anime I watch after this because of how shitty this anime is. I dreamed the dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. God would be forgiving. God would be